you're joking me.
I am dry. What other one? Blood, sweat and gears have gone into this. A lot of blood, sweat and gears. Right then, this is, well, I've got two O2J gearboxes, one of which we rebuilt for a customer nearly 2 years ago now. So we did a basic rebuild on it with a Quaife differential. Unfortunately, it's been a bit of a long-term project for the customer, and it was sort of sat on his drive for probably close to 18 months. He's got the vehicle running and he's forgot to fill the gearbox with oil. So you can imagine it's done a little bit of damage. He didn't drive it for too long. I think he only did about 20 or 30 miles, but he brought the box back to us and we've said we're going to try and help him out with rebuild costs. We also advised that he purchase another box that we'd use for the rebuild. We've opened that up and that's not in the best condition, so I'm just going to show you through them both now. We're going to have a look at what we're going to do to them. So looking at the casings we originally built and the gears, you can see it's been sat with no oil for a long time. Looking at the shifter tower, there's obviously been some water ingress and it's got super rusty. There's remains of sort of bearing cages and it generally looks like everything's been very warm, but the actual casing itself, the condition doesn't look horrendous. If we move over to the other box that the customer brought for us to use as a donor, it doesn't actually look like the oil's ever been drained from this. You can see the build up on the casing, so that oil's probably been sat in there for its full lifetime. The magnet that we've removed is absolutely full of swarf, and if you get a close-up on the bearings, again, that's obviously been sat with a bit of water ingress and it's super rusty around the cages. So what we're going to do now is pick the best from both. We're going to take the casings, get them vapor blasted so they look absolutely pristine. We'll run through all the components and we're going to rebuild it with a brand new bearing kit, which we've now got listed on the website. Luckily, we've been able to salvage the Quaife differential, even though it has been run without any oil. We've opened it up, and if you have a look, we'll strip that down and give it a clean up, but there's pretty much little to zero damage to the gears. So when we get the casings back from vapor blasting, we'll do a little time lapse and a build video for you. Right then, following on from, I think it was back end of last week when we stripped this gearbox down, I think we went through and showed you we're a bit of a mess. We've since had the casings vapor blasted, so they're looking like new again. We stripped everything down, cleaned everything in the parts washer. We've got the fresh bearing kit ready to go, new end casing, customer supplied a fancy bolt kit, Diff's been stripped and inspected and cleaned. So we're just going to start on the rebuild now. trick to remove this bearing. Pack it full and smash it with an hammer. See how we get on. This is from the other gearbox, so I'm not damaging components that get built into this one. Been about a week since we started filming this video. The O2J box is finally back together. It has taken a little bit longer than I would have hoped. That's because we've had to order a few bits in, some of which are on back order, and we've kind of been doing it after hours because, as I mentioned earlier in the video, we're trying to help this customer out and look after him on costs. So what I thought we'd do while we've got everything laid out, just run through some of the costs that are involved in sort of a basic rebuild, which would just be like if you want a diff fitting or a full rebuild. So if you're bringing a good box to us and literally just wanting a, like for example, a Quaife diff installing with new ARP bolts and bearings, you're going to be looking around sort of 1,400 quid including VAT. This gearbox, we've gone one step further, and it's pretty much had a full rebuild. So this is including a full strip down inspection. As you can see, the casing's been vapor blasted, full bearing kit. There were a couple of extra bearings that we've had to replace that aren't included in the kit. I'll sort of link those in the description. Obviously Quaife, ARP bolts, and the time to rebuild, fresh oil, 2 litres of oil, and a new gearbox to engine bolt kit. realistically, you're going to be looking around £2,200 including VAT. Does seem like quite a lot of money, but when you weigh up the time involved and the parts involved, you'll see why. Say all the items I've mentioned now will be in the description below. I've left the customer like a nice little note to remind him there's no oil in it this time. As I said, we're going to look after him on rebuild costs on this, just to try and help him out a bit. He has spent a reasonable amount with us, so we're not going to leave him high and dry. What else do I need to say?
Were they joking there?
What?
Were they joking there?
High and dry. There's what other one? Blood, sweat and gears have gone into this. A lot of blood, sweat and gears. Yeah, so if you need a gearbox rebuild or differential installation, drop us an email and we can send you a quote. Anything from O2J, O2A, O2M, O2Q. We've usually got all the parts on the shelf ready to fit. Thanks. You need to say like and subscribe.
Well, that's it.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Cheers.